Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Now today I was going to do a commentary video, but instead inspired by a client and a couple of other people as well over the last week or so. Instead I wanted to talk about bad days because everyone has them, but they can be absolutely devastating if you don't know how to handle them. And so as a result, I wanted to have a chat about this. Not necessarily entirely as a coach, but as a person that's had just as many shit days as everybody else. And yeah, the coaching thing helps put it in perspective. It helped me continue. It helped me develop. But at the same time, I wasn't always a coach. I wasn't always aware of everything that I am now. And I'm just as aware of the difficulties and the crap that gets thrown at you on a day-to-day basis as anyone else. The last several years of my life since starting as a coach have been one day after the next day after the next day of potentially bad days, people being dicks, people asking for my services and then not wanting them again, being screwed over by clients even before they have actually become a client. People who go, oh yeah, do you know what? I'd love a life coach. Oh well, here's my card. Oh no. Or I need to live and survive, so please provide me with your patronage, considering that I will help you fix your damn life, which apparently you just said you could use. It's very much one of these things that everyone experiences: bad days, bad interactions, things that you could be having a great day and one person, one moron, turns up in your life for 5 minutes and just ruins your next 2-3 days afterwards, just because of the impact that they have had on you. And it's granted, as I've said in other videos, it's an impact that you allow them to have on you. There is a potential lack of perspective in those moments, but especially if you're not used to monitoring yourself, if you're not used to being introspective, if you're not paying attention to all of your ins and outs, or if you've got other things going on that distract you from paying attention to yourself, then yeah, that person can get under your skin. And whilst you may be letting them do it, there are dickheads. People suck. It's an unfortunate fact of life. It isn't entirely your fault. If everyone was able to be civil and reasonable and logical and sensible and aware and all of these other things, then we wouldn't have these issues. But then again, at the same time, there would be no conflict for growth. There would be no opportunities from which to learn, because we would already be aware of everything. There would be a huge gaping void in regards to the way that we learn about ourselves by running into brick walls and then learning how to pick ourselves back up again. There would be such a slowdown in various parts of your life, and to be fair, you'd probably see yourself far more miserable and far more dissatisfied with life if you didn't have the bad days to help you appreciate the good. But let's talk about responses to bad days, because that's the big thing, right? That bad day can happen, as said, in like 5 minutes. One person turning up in your life, one thing going wrong, and that's it. You don't have anything else interacting with you or causing it. It's that one event, that one thing that just hits you where it hurts. And once it's done that, you're just left by yourself to stew. So my question would then be, well, what is it that you can do to solve that? It can be hard. It entirely depends on what the situation is. If you've got a social thing that has brought your day down, then that can be incredibly tough to deal with, because you've got all of the unwritten rules of social interaction. You've got whether or not people will approve or disapprove. You've got whatever else. Simply put, in those situations, do what's best for you, what feels right. Simply because if you lose friends, great, you've still got 7 billion other people to meet. If you're going to upset people, may not be great, but at the same time, do first apologize afterwards. as long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not getting yourself hurt or other people hurt or into trouble in some way that you can't remove yourself from afterwards, do first, act on it, say what needs to be said, do what needs to be done, and then if it causes a problem afterwards, you can apologize. If people are willing to accept your apology, if you are sincere in it, fine. That's the way it's panned out. You've learned something, they've learned something, everyone's grown from the experience. If they don't accept your apology when you're being sincere, then they may very well not have valued you particularly much in the first place. Don't bother with them. Don't waste your time on them. If you're not being sincere in the first place, why are you even apologizing? Have some more respect for yourself than bowing down and trying to appease through an apology when you don't mean it. Be more genuine. People will respect that more. But then when it comes to things like work, if you've failed at something, or if something has got away from you, then simply put, forgive yourself, do better. You're not perfect. You can do better. You will do better. You'll be awesome. Continue. If it's something that someone else has done, you've lost a client, or your boss has been a dick, or something like that. Simply put, if you've lost a client, if you've lost sales and things like that, fine. Simply put, the way to respond to that, don't lose sight on the fact that what you have lost is not the respect of a person. They probably didn't respect you anyway. You were a means to an end. It is not the validation and support of anyone. It is money. It is a sale. They are a material thing as much as you are a material thing to them. And so, as a result, if you've now got this free time because you've lost a sale, great, make 2 sales. Follow that up, chase it up, try everything you can. And it can be difficult. Me, in my particular instance, yes, it can be incredibly difficult to find new clients. A lot of coaching stuff is word of mouth. Trying to deal with things online can be a pain in the ass because sometimes internet problems happen. Sometimes people suddenly get turned off by the idea of doing something. I do not get many requests for coaching as a service, for instance, through YouTube, but I still want to help people, so I'm still doing it. If I was more secure, maybe I'd do more with it. As I'm still doing this and that and bouncing around and running around and doing things, having my bad days. This is what you guys get, And to be fair, 2 videos a day, not some of which are focused on helping you guys, some of which are more relaxed. Either way, what it comes down to is it's something that I've set myself to do, and I'm doing it. Why? Because it's a response to the bad days and making sure that either I don't have them or that you guys don't have them. If you guys don't have them, then maybe you'll see the benefit of what I'm talking about, of what I'm doing. And then maybe you'd like to have me on board as part of a service. Maybe you'd like to invest in me. Otherwise, no loss. You still potentially had your life improved. I've still potentially had my life improved. I've learned, I've developed from doing these videos. There's always something that you learn from and grow with. Does it solve a money problem? No, in this particular instance, especially considering all my videos have been demonetized and things. Fine. It wasn't about that in the first place. What it was about was helping people, and that's what I'm still doing with this. Goal achieved with this particular area of my life. Moving on though to other things. Your boss being a prick. Well, guess what? Your boss is probably always going to be a prick because you're not a person to him. Or even if you are a person to him, he is forced almost constantly to treat you as a tool, not as a person. You're a set of numbers on a spreadsheet. You're a name on a rota. It's one of the problems, and it's one of the reasons why I left corporate work. I didn't like devaluing people in that way. I did not like having to sum people up as a string of numbers and a name on a rota. In which case, guess what? I found another way. I am working hard on another way, a way that I can survive without tackling that area of work than getting mired in it to the same extent that I was before. Is corporate important? Yes, absolutely. Are there people that love corporate? Yes. Is it an exciting environment to be in? Absolutely. Are there issues with it? Certainly. If you're in that environment and it's crushing you, Simply put, there are either other ways or there are ways that you can try and restructure to help you forward. I did the video on cultural change not so long ago. Go take a look at that. Potentially, you can leverage that depending on your level of work and your kind of work rank and things like that. Because obviously, if you're at the bottom of the ladder and you're a part-timer, then chances are, yeah, it might be soul-crushing, but it also it's probably a means to an end for you anyway. So employing those things is firstly going to be hard, and secondly, not going to work anyway. But ultimately, you can overcome challenges. Everyone can overcome challenges. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't espouse it so much in every single one of these videos. Every single video, we're either overcoming a challenge in a game, we're talking about ways to overcome challenges in your life, we're talking about ways to overcome challenges in yourself. And if I didn't believe that we could do that, then I firstly wouldn't be a living example of it, but also I wouldn't be espousing it in every single piece of content that I put on this website. In which case, the bad days, they're going to suck. But your response is what matters. There are two adages that I live by in this regard, one of which was espoused through almost every kids' TV show that I watched when I was a kid, and the other of which was told to me during a seminar by a marketing and sales guru chap. The first one is, if they knock you down, and you stay down, then they win. Simply put, get back up again. Keep going. Doesn't matter how many times they knock you down, as long as every time you get back up again. My company, Silver Mountain Coaching, and everything that I've been doing around this has been established and developing since 2013. I have been active and pushing for success with it in various different ways, a little bit before, a few months before overall, since this YouTube channel started, because that was when I had certain things concluded and when I hit kind of a crunch and I needed to get on with stuff. In which case, that's the situation that I've mentioned in other videos before briefly, but that's my situation. And it's been a case of always bumping into people that say, yes, we'll talk to you, and then don't. People who are interested in coaching and then not so interested. People that take me on as a recognised contractor, or who have said that they will farm me out for work and then find me nothing, and all I get is a newsletter from them every couple of months, just updating me about, oh yes, you're still on this list and this is the thing that we want to tell you. Great, but that's not helping me. You need money to make money in certain instances, and yet that isn't something that I've been able to buy into. And so I've had bad days where it's been a case of someone has tried to sell me all these products and they probably would help me and I'd be able to do so much more in so many different ways, but I still need to live. And so that in itself becomes its own issue, where my morale starts to decay. And yet, guess what? I'm still achieving. I'm still increasing all of my numbers. I'm doing more. I'm doing better. There are still gaping holes in what I'm doing, but at the same time, it's not like I'm ignoring those holes. I'm addressing them. I'm building over them. I'm making sure that there are ways past it. And you can too. Every single one of you. Every single one of you that has a shit day. It's not about how you tackle that immediate situation. It's how you respond to it afterwards. It's about knowing that you are learning from it. It's about knowing that you can do better. And in regards to all those people that have their day ruined by some asshole, ruined by some shitty boss that doesn't know what they're doing, ruined by some random occurrence that flies out of nowhere. Simply put, the second adage that I was told, don't deal with tossers. And simply put, yeah, that's a good thing. There was an interview that I went for a while ago now that exemplifies all of this straight up. I was sat there with their regional manager, and he was looking to take me on to not just train up store staff, but also and coach them, but also to run part of their business. And he sat me down, and it was a growing company, and he was like, right, okay, here are all these things. Gave him all the answers. He was like, right, that's very impressive. Now tell me about you. And he started probing on my personal life, and that's where I draw a line personally, because me, my girlfriend, or my family, anything to do with stuff that will not affect work in any way, shape or form, you have no business knowing. You know my marital status, you know my sexual orientation, you know my various other bits and pieces, because it's all been put down on your equal opportunities paperwork. In regards to everything else, I've told you I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I live a quiet, mediocre life. That is the excitement that I draw from it is very much in mundane things and the enjoyment of life itself and the experiences that I undergo, rather than altering my perceptions. So you won't have to worry about me coming into work in an unfit state. And yet he insisted on probing on all those things, and when I outright refused to answer, he decided he did not like me and did not hire me, and therefore basically brushed me out of his office right then and there. So my initial response was, what a prick. And yet my second response was, I dodged a bullet. Because if I had had to work under him, I probably would have hated it just as much as I had just as much as I did some of my other jobs that I had done beforehand that led me towards coaching in the first place, because it was the only part of those jobs that I really enjoyed, the working with people and the achieving goals. And so, you guys, when it comes to those shitty days where you're dealing with some arsehole and they have ruined your day, if you can, remove yourself from them. Dodge the bullet. Don't deal with the tosser. If you can't avoid those people, though, it's all about your response. Don't let them win. It's a competition. It's a fight. And it might not be an easy fight. It might be a fight where you get knocked down again and again. You run into roadblocks again and again. All of your progress is continually trampled over by other people to the extent that it is not recognized. Guess what? If you keep getting up, that persistence, that strength, that continuous, consistent attitude is what's going to get you far. If you find that you need to redirect, that you need to free yourself, that you need to do something different, change your tactics, change your way of doing things and review it, that's not a weakness. That's not a defeat. That's you getting up again and moving in a different way. Instead of going straight towards them, you have decided to sidestep them. That's all it is. You're still winning. You're still moving forward. You're still succeeding. Even if it's inch by inch, centimetre by centimetre, it's still a case of you doing well. Don't lose sight of that, and don't forget it. You can always do better, but sometimes it takes taking a step back and having a look at things first. And when it comes to emotion, it can be incredibly hard. If you've had a customer yell and scream in your face for 10 minutes straight, and they're insulting you on every single level possible, that's gonna hurt. But they're not gonna be there forever. They're gonna go. They're gonna finish and they're gonna run away, and you're gonna have no one but yourself to tackle. Get out your own way. That's all I gotta say, really, guys. It's bad days are tough for people to deal with, and they're tough to help people with as well. Because when you're in that emotional state and you're upset and you're having a bad day and you're having a miserable time of things, then you're not your brain isn't working efficiently. It's not working effectively. It's focused on all the stuff that's going on inside it rather than how you can then affect the world to continue to better your situation. So again, to summarize, if you're having a bad day, yeah, it sucks. It sucks huge donkey balls. But at the same time, and that's a technical coaching term, by the way, but when you're dealing with that kind of thing and it's that kind of bad day, you can always do better. You can always forgive yourself, because you're not perfect. No one's perfect. It's not fair to expect perfection. You can do better and you can move on beyond it. If it's a person that's caused it, don't let them win. Don't deal with them. Move in a different way. Find a different way to progress. If it requires reviewing the way that you do business, reviewing the friends that you have, reviewing the way that you interact with people, or the information that you're using, or whatever it happens to be that's ruined your day, have a look at it, examine it, break it down, see how it applies to yourself, see how it applies to the situation, and then take that different tack. Whatever happens, don't stay down and keep moving forward. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because you know, everyone has their own ways of coping with bad days. Mine, as I've said, for the most part, shrug it off, continue. Other people, I know, need to bottle it up and kind of crush it down until it's powder beneath them, and then they can step over it. Other people need to just vent and throw it out into the world, and then it's gone. But it's a case of finding what works for you and what works for the situation, and then sticking to it and going with it. It can be tough. It can be really tough. As I've said, this has caused me no end of strife in regards to relationships, friendships, financial problems, with some of the things that I've been doing, some of the bad days that I've had. And yet it still comes down to, this is what I'm doing. It just means I need to take a different tack. I need to learn from this and do better next time. I need to learn from this and develop in a different way. And now, with some of the help from some of you guys that watch these videos, from the clients that I've had that have been working with me and that I've been able to help, and also in addition, some of the other bits and pieces from various other organisations that have actually decided that I am worth working with. You know, thanks to those individuals, and thanks to the fact that I've not closed myself off from them, and that I have continued to try and follow either new advice, new information, a different tactic, you know, not getting bogged down by those days that are worth curling up in bed away from to just have end. You know, regardless of that, keep yourself open, keep yourself going, look for that new way of moving, and you'll still make progress. You'll still do well. You know, every success, every little progression is a victory for you against those people that are getting in your way. But anyway, guys, maybe not the video I wanted to make today, but I feel definitely an important video that was worth making, and I hope you agree. I hope you find this useful. Either just as a, yeah, someone else has shit days too, great, we're not alone, or as a case of going, yeah, there are ways to get past it, I need to look for them. One way or the other, I hope it helps. Still would love to hear your thoughts and opinions and your experiences as well, you know. And otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video later. Take care.